here we are. Hey guys, welcome to another stream. Jamali Senpai is who I am, as you probably have already guessed. This is the third day in a row that I'm going to be making a video and putting it out on YouTube, so I'm being really consistent, guys. Consider following and subscribing or doing whatever it is that you do on YouTube. But if you are here watching live, you've seen from the stream title on Twitch that I am covering a couple of topics. There's two topics today, mostly because I got them from Prime K's, another Twitch streamer who is doing a panel later on tonight, does them every Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. And we've got two interesting topics that I'm going to go and read about and then give my commentary on. And then I'm probably going to be on that panel later on tonight and discussing the same things. But this will be a nice little pre-game, pre-show, pre-workout for the verbal interlocuting that I'm going to be doing later on, which I don't think that we will have much disagreements on this. I think what we're covering is pretty standard in the regards that it's not like I don't know. Actually, I shouldn't make that judgment. I shouldn't make that prejudgment yet because I don't know exactly what the nature of this is. But just off of the title, just off of the little bit that I have discerned from the topic itself without reading the article that we're going to read, it looks pretty fucking sus. Also, I'm trying to curse less because I'm just trying to make it a lot smoother for the YouTube videos to go up without there being like a worry about like age or restrictions and stuff like that. I don't really know how it works. I should look that stuff up, but I got a lot on my mind, a lot on my plate. So let's go ahead and read the topic. I'll read the topic and how it was framed to me from Prime, and then we'll go ahead and read the article. I'm not going to show the DM Discords because that's just bad etiquette. But topic one. A poor, majority black rural town in Tennessee is being threatened by the state. The town, named Mason, happens to be near a location that has just become very valuable. The Ford Motor Company is planning to build an electric car plant very near Mason, which would raise its visibility and revenue. However, the state's comptroller has suddenly urged the town to rescind its charter and be subsumed by Tipton, a majority white and Republican city. The comptroller has said this call was made purely because of mismanagement by the town's elected officials. Do you think the comptroller has a point? Would the town be better off if it was under Tipton's control? Do rural towns such as this one have any real value on their own? Or is independence the only thing that matters? Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and read the article. This is from TennesseeLookout.com. This article was written on posted on March 14th, so a couple days ago. It's a relatively new thing, but let's go ahead and do this. This is akin to a hostile takeover. State officials ask residents of a small, predominantly black town near the site of new Ford investment to forfeit their city charter or face takeover. Mason, Tennessee, the Tennessee comptroller issued an unusual appeal last week to residents of this small town, majority black town. Why are they capitalizing black? That's not, whatever. Which occupies fewer than 2 square miles in rural West Tennessee. Is that my first time noticing that? It is my first time noticing that. Okay. In my opinion, it's time for Mason to relinquish its charter, Comptroller Jason Mumpower wrote in a letter mailed to each one of Mason's 1,337 property owners. I'm sorry. They can't do it. They have to. There are elite amount of property owners in Mason, they're just that automatically. I'm already disgusted by this act. Okay, it's just fuck the other stuff. It's fudge the other stuff. It's already too bad. Elite property owners, guys, perfect. You can't write it better. Mumpower urged local residents to encourage your local officials to do what's necessary to allow Mason to thrive. There is no time to waste. State comptrollers responsible for financial oversight of local government typically communicate directly with elected local leaders and not their constituents. We have not issued a letter to citizens like this before, Comptroller spokesman John Dunn said, noting it is unprecedented for us to publicly call for a town charter to be relinquished. I'm not really sure what a town charter. What's a town charter? Is that just like a thing that states that a town exists as a town? A municipal charter is the basic document that defines the organization, powers, functions, and essential procedures of the city of government. It is comparable to the Constitution of the United States or a state's constitution. A charter is therefore the most important legal document of any state. Okay, so they're literally saying, give up your constitution. You're about to be absorbed into this other city that has a different demographic, both in race and in income, apparently. But okay, well, we'll see. State comptroller is responsible for financial oversight. Okay, I already read that. Unprecedented, yeah. But the comptroller's unprecedented public call-out comes at an unprecedented time, not only for Mason, but for the state. Mason, located in the southeastern corner of Tipton County, now finds itself with some of the most coveted real estate in Tennessee. It's one of the nearest towns to the massive new site to be built for Blue Oval City, a key component in Ford Motor Company's multi-billion-dollar pivot to electric vehicle manufacturing. Mumpower's letter has infuriated Mason's part-time elected officials who insist they have no intention of ceding their town's 153-year-old charter, which would subsume the largely African-American, majority Democratic community under the governance of Tipton County, which is predominantly white and Republican. Actually, okay. I thought like they had also an economic difference as well in terms of its average, but I might be wrong. It doesn't say that. So it might just be that they're Republican, poor white town as well. This is our home. We were born and raised here. The majority of the town is homegrown people that live here. Vice Mayor Virginia Rivers said, he is trying to conquer and divide us. It's akin to a hostile takeover, and it's not hard to figure out why here, why now. Town leaders are accusing Mumpower and other state officials of bigfooting a long-ignored, largely black community now that major investments is heading its way. Mason is 60% black and includes descendants of men, women, and children enslaved in the area before emancipation. For more than a century, the town was led by white elected officials. That changed in 2016 when fraud and mismanagement allegations led to the resignation of nearly all City Hall officials, all of whom were white. Mason's current mayor, vice mayor, and 5 of its 6 aldermen are black. It's because of the black people that are in office, said Rivers, who first became vice mayor in 2021. And it's because of all the places in the world the Blue Oval could have selected, they selected here. There's no way Mason won't prosper and grow, and now they want to take it away from us. A critical location. Mason lies just 5 miles from the future site of Blue Oval City Ford Motor Company's 4,100-acre electric truck and battery plant, landed by state officials last year with nearly $1 billion in taxpayer incentives. The operation is expected to generate 27,000 new jobs and $22 million annually in state taxes after its planned 2025 opening. A quote from Virginia Rivers, vice mayor of Mason, Tennessee. This is our home. We were born here, raised here. Mumpower is trying to conquer and divide us. It's akin to... Okay, I literally just read that. Whatever. Highway 79, which links Blue Oval to Memphis, runs right past Mason's small central district. Its city hall, fire station, police station, an abandoned gas station, and the remnants of a grocery store that burned down 3 years ago after a semi-truck veered through it. It also leads visitors to pit stops on off the beaten path foodie maps of the South. It is home to Gus's world famous fried chicken, a small counter-serving black-owned restaurant that rose to fried chicken fame after Oprah Winfrey stopped by. Bozo's Hot Pit Barbecue, a half block away, is a destination for barbecue fans. The white-owned restaurant was featured in the Johnny Cash biopic Walk the Line. Exit 39, the new I-40 off-ramp slated to bring interstate traffic directly to Blue Oval City, lies 4.5 miles door-to-door from the town center. And CSX Railroad runs directly through the town on a route that will take it straight to the Blue Oval campus. Oh my God, I'm making a lot of reading errors. This is kind of frustrating. It's annoying me. Where to house an estimated 33,000 temporary workers needed to constitute the site, and the 27,000 permanent workforce needed when the plant opens in 2025 has been a central preoccupation for county and town mayors in Tipton, Haywood, and Fayette counties, all within commuting distance of Blue Oval's campus. According to Mumpower, Mason's leadership is ill-equipped to manage the challenges and opportunities ahead. Government isn't working for the people who live in Mason now, and people and companies are not going to invest in Mason, Mumpower said. The opportunity for growth is at the doorstep, and I don't want the people of Mason to lose that opportunity, he said. They are about to be bypassed if their city leaders don't make responsible decisions. Mumpower points to a 20-year history of fiscal mismanagement, including 2 major fraud investigations that resulted in criminal indictments. He also points to a history of financial accounting challenges that include town officials missing their annual audit deadlines each year since 2001. Is this when the whites? Is this when white people were historically in charge? When did they stop being in charge? Yeah, in 2016. So okay, all the stuff mentioned is pretty much mentioning the previous, white leadership, I guess. I don't know if you want to call it that, but this is the vice mayor. Acknowledges Mason Vice Mayor Virginia Rivers acknowledges the city has had poor management and financial scandal in the past, but says the current administration has turned the situation around. That's what I'd want to know. I'd want to know how the current administration is going. This is the railroad that leads through that we just read about. What's the age demographic of this town? I feel like it's got to be all old people. What? Okay. The financial disclosures for the past 2 years are running late. Between 2014 and 2016, Mason's financials were in such disarray they were unauditable. Mason also has the highest property tax rate in Tipton County, funds used in large part to employ 26 people on the town's payroll. Mason operates its own water and gas utilities. City officials have been transferring utility payments into their general operating fund to cover expenses, contrary to Tennessee law. The state's Water and Wastewater Financing Board is currently investigating. At the board's last meeting, it threatened to subpoena city officials. And the recent closure of the West Tennessee Detention Facility, one of the biggest taxpayers in Mason, will only make the situation worse, according to the comptroller. The facility, operated by Core Civic, closed down under a Biden administration rule barring private operators from housing federal prisoners. I'm not sure there's a full understanding of operating a town, Mumpower said. Mumpower ultimatum. Mumpower has offered an ultimatum. Either city officials decide to rescind its charter, bringing Mason under the authority of the Tipton County government, or the comptroller's office will take full financial control, overseeing the town's budget with the authority to approve any expenditure of $100 or more. Mumpower bristled at a suggestion by Vice Mayor Virginia Rivers that state's approach is motivated by race. It's offensive and difficult to respond to such a short-sighted comment as that, he said. The latter would almost certainly lead to budget cuts, benefit cuts, and possibly layoffs in city government. Mumpower bristled at Rivers' suggestion that race is playing a role in the state's approach. It's offensive and difficult to... Yeah, I just read that. Why would they... What is the point of putting this twice in the article? Whatever. On Thursday, a standing room only crowd of Mason's residents crammed into the pews and stood leaning against the walls of the Cedar Grove Missionary Baptist Church at a meeting called by city officials to address Mumpower's criticisms. Quote, "Now it is the time for you to hear the rest of the story," end quote, Rivers said. "Don't sign away your charter. Keep your rights." Rivers said elected officials were, quote, "completely blindsided," end quote, by the comptroller's statements. Mason is in a deep hole, she said, but the roots of that hole trace back to fraud and mismanagement that occurred during previous administrations. Yeah, that's what I said. And that the current administration has made progress in fixing that. In 2011, a former Mason town clerk pleaded guilty to embezzling $100,000 in taxpayer funds. In 2016, a former public works superintendent was indicted by a Tipton County grand jury after investigators discovered he had paid himself an extra $600,000 between 2007 and 2015. The town's financial problems stretched back even further. A 2001 state examination of the town's finances found numerous accounting errors in tax and court collections. This administration inherited $500,000 in debt, Rivers said. In 2015, after fraud allegations emerged, nearly the entire town government resigned, leaving a newly elected junior alderman, Gwen Kilpatrick, to assume the office of mayor. That's an aggressive name. Kilpatrick became the city's first black mayor since the city's leadership has remained largely African American. And since then, Rivers said, city officials have worked to pare the town's debt that accrued during prior administrations while planning for a future with parks, paved streets, new codes department, infrastructure improvements, and beautification projects. In the past 3 years, city finance officials have completed 5 of its past due financial audits. By the end of this year, they expect to be caught up. Of the 26 people on the town's payroll, 6 are part-time leadership employees, including the mayor. Part-time? What do you mean? Of the 26 people on the town's payroll, 6 are part-time leadership employees, including the mayor, vice mayor, and alderman, who collectively earn just $1,100 per month. The remainder of employees, police, fire, utility, and public works, keep basic city infrastructure running. It's kind of hard to go through this and not be recognized as a city that's trying to progress, Rivers said. It seems like no matter what we do, we're knocked down. Why didn't they hold the previous administrations responsible? I thought people went to jail for that. Did I not read that earlier? Maybe. Town officials won't cede their charter, and they plan to fight any effort to take over the city financially, Rivers said. And she told residents they are enlisting outside help. Gloria Sweetlove, president of the Tennessee State Conference and NAACP, said she showed up at the town meeting to offer support and to marshal resources. You are in a nice little spot, a sweet spot, and a lot of people want your land, Sweetlove said, end quote. Quote, if you need to fight, I will fight with you. Don't sign away your charter, keep your rights, end quote. The comptroller initiated a public airing of the dispute, releasing its letter to residents to reporters statewide. But county officials, with outside assistance, have begun their own counter-messaging. Will black people's land be stolen in Tennessee again? A headline in the Tennessee Tribune, a statewide black paper, read last week. Mumpower is equally prepared to act, and he said, citizens of Mason have nothing to worry about if they decide to rescind their charter. Wait, so do they have something to worry about if they don't? What are they holding on to? Mumpower said. My heartfelt request is let us help you. A church is not a building. The community of Mason is not the city charter. It's the people. There will still be the community of Mason. Okay. So, really quick notes. Interestingly enough, the decision to make this for whoever this Mumpower, that's a funny name. This Mumpower person, I don't know who that is. Mumpower. I need their full name. I cannot just go around just calling them Mumpower. Jason Mumpower. Yes, this is the guy. So Jason Mumpower, recollection or what's it called? Reasoning for wanting to essentially take this town and put it under the effective control of another county comes from the idea that this place can't handle the boom in both the money that's going to flow into this town and the regulations that come with, more city or town zoning and stuff like that in regards to the plant that's gonna flock people in from all over the state and neighboring states to work in this electric vehicle plant. That seems really strange, and on its face seems like kind of a decent proposal, right? If this town has had a history historically of having financial issues, of having corruption, then yeah, you probably would say that it's probably best that this town, this small town, should be handed over or at least join and be absorbed into another county where government oversight could properly handle the finances that are going to flow through this town in terms of the taxes that they're going to get. However, we neglect the fact that the town is majority black, but was ran by white people for like, I think, decades, if not a century. Didn't it say that? No, let me see. Yeah, okay. Mumpower's letter has infuriated Mason's part-time elected officials who insist they have no intention of ceding their town's 153-year-old charter, which would subsume the largely African-American, majority Democratic community under the governance of Tipton County, which is predominantly white and Republican. Presumably, for 150 years, this town was, run by white people who obviously did not have the best interest of their constituents in mind, because they were robbing them blind for $600,000 like over the course of 5 to 7 years. And that's more recent. That's more recent and probably easier to document than what might have been happening 100 years ago or even 50 years ago. And now to say that this town is incapable of doing this, now that it's run by a majority black, now that it's run by mostly black people and elected officials, now all of a sudden it's not ready to handle this. It's not equipped to handle the $22 million annually, like the $22 million that the state that this plant plans on bringing in. Wow, yeah, that's pretty interesting. And on face value, like I said, that seems like a pretty, I'm being generous, it seems like a pretty reasonable take. But why is it that now that all of the corrupted and fraudulent things are done or aren't happening anymore, 5 years, 6 years later down the line, you want to go ahead and say they're not equipped for it? Apparently, they've been catching up to all of the things that have been mishandled and mismanaged by the previous administration, and it seems like that stuff is still being attributed to the current administration. I think that's pretty weird. Now, without straight up calling this guy racist and saying that his motivations for this is to pretty much make more money for a majority white county in Tennessee, there isn't really much that I know about Jason Mumpower. So why don't we go ahead and just look up Jason Mumpower? What? Why did it say obituary? Is he dead? No, he's not dead. Jason E. Mumpower was elected in Tennessee's 35th Comptroller of the Treasury on January 13, 2021. He is responsible for leading the office of the Comptroller of the Treasury, which comprises 12 divisions and more than 560 employees, and ensuring the office fulfills its mission to make government work better. I hate it. I like it, I guess. Prior to his service with the Comptroller's office, Comptroller Mumpower served in Tennessee General Assembly as a state representative for Sullivan and Johnson counties in the Tennessee General Assembly. All right, Johnson counties. Let's see what the demographic for these counties are. Johnson County demographic. I hope this takes me to Johnson County, Tennessee. So it's got what, 20,000 people living in it? That's the population. U.S. Bureau, Census Bureau. Wow. Persons under 5. I want that race, baby. Okay. So it's a majority white county. All right, that's a majority white county. And Sullivan. Sullivan, Tennessee. Also a majority white. Okay, so okay, that's fine. He was first elected to office at age 23, and during his 14-year tenure, he held positions of House Majority Leader and House Minority Leader. He joined the Comptroller's office in December 2010, serving as former Comptroller Justin P. Wilson, Deputy Controller and Chief of Staff. Comptroller Mumpower has received numerous awards and recognition during his career, including being named Legislator of the Year on multiple occasions by several organizations. He's also a recipient of the National Federation of Independent Businesses Guardian of Small Business Award and the Future Farmers of America Lifetime Alumni Award. Comptroller Mumpower is a graduate of King University, King College, with a BA in economics and a minor in political science. Notably, in June 2013, he graduated from Harvard University John F. Kennedy School of Government Senior Executives in a state and local government program. Comptroller Mumpower is also a Rule 31 listed general civil mediator. Comptroller Mumpower is an Eagle Scout and is active in many community organizations and projects, including the Rotary Club of Bristol, Tennessee, and Virginia, and the Chambers of Commerce in Kingsport, Bristol, and Johnson County, Tennessee. He currently serves as a member of the King University's Board of Trustees. Comptroller Mumpower resides in Bristol, Tennessee with his wife Alicia and son Max. Look at this dude's head. Look at his bald ass head. I'm sorry. Let's not be rude. And let's go to the Wikipedia. Let's see if there's anything he's done. Mumpower was a member of the Tennessee House of Representatives, representing the 3rd District, which consists of all of Johnson County and Sullivan County. Mumpower was elected to Tennessee in the House of the 100th Tennessee General Assembly at the age of 23. Yep, we just read all that. Okay, yep, he's a Republican. Legislative goals. Mumpower co-sponsored the 2009 HB 1725 legislation sponsored by his fellow Bristol and Sullivan County members in the Tennessee House of Representatives. Representative John Lundberg, the Tennessee State Companion Bill, SB 1950, was sponsored by his fellow Sullivan County residents. Resident Lieutenant Governor Ron Ramsey. If you're a lieutenant and you become do you have if you're in the army and you become an elected official, do you keep the army title? You become a lieutenant, or is lieutenant governor just a title? It's probably just a title. Subject to approval by the removes the right of all Bristol voters to participate within ballot questions for recall initiative. What? Removes the right of all Bristol voters to participate within ballot questions for recall initiative and referendum provisions authorized by the city charter and was enacted into law by the Tennessee General Assembly and assigned private chapter number 18 by Tennessee Secretary of State. And in 2008, Mumpower voted for a measure to lift a cap preventing the construction, toll bridge, and toll road projects across Tennessee during 2008 sessions. The toll road legislation failed to be enacted by the Tennessee State. Early career. Mumpower was born in Bristol, Tennessee, and graduated from Bristol, Tennessee High School in 1991, after later attending King College in Bristol and graduating in 1995 with a bachelor's degree in art. With a Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics and Business Administration. He's employed by Representative John Lundberg. Okay, Mumpower is also noted comic book collector in Tennessee with approximately 3,600 comic books cataloged and organized within his private collection. He began collecting comic books at the age of 12. Okay, prior to being elected to Tennessee House, Mumpower bagged groceries at Bristol, Tennessee. I learned more about life working in the food city than I could learn anywhere else. That's kind of sad. And you seem a little sheltered. You might want to get out more. There's not much on this person in terms of his effect on his constituents, other than the fact that I think, if I'm reading this right, he removed the rights of Bristol voters to participate within ballot questions. So, I guess if people have questions or concerns about ballots that were cast, they're not allowed to be a part of that. I might be misunderstanding that completely, but he seems not like a controversial figure. He doesn't have any issues that are easy to find. Nice tattoo. Thanks. Hook 000222. Nice name. So that's very interesting. I don't like him. No, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead. I don't got nothing against the fella, but I don't know him from a hole in the wall. And God damn it, I'm not from Tennessee. But anything, as long as my understanding of this is correct, anything that has anything to do with removing the right of voters to be able to participate in auditing or just questioning the recalls or anything like that, anything that has anything to do with voter restriction, I'm not okay with. So this guy, sus. He can't take over this town. Doing this, he's racist as fuck. Okay, no, I don't know. I don't know if he's racist, but he is very, very weird. And it is very weird that he's doing this now. Because there's going to be a lot of money flowing into the town of Mason, Tennessee, due to this plant. And the fact that this plant is being here, and then now that this plant is going to be put there, it should be open by 2025, and bracken millions of dollars in terms of tax revenue. And to say that this town doesn't have the ability to handle that level of tax revenue is kind of a little... it's a little ostentatious, I think. I think it's a little offensive and even acknowledging the fact that the previous administration had a large level of corruption where hundreds of thousands of dollars were embezzled and given and paid to people and paid to themselves that were elected officials. This current administration, as far as this article elaborates on, has been working to correct the issues and the holes and gaps that they found, and have been auditing all of their financial records for the very sake of being clear and forward with what they're spending their money on. To say that they don't have the ability to handle this seems kind of... It seems a little, either one, you aren't paying attention to what the current administration is doing, or two, you're kind of racist, and you know that this town is majority black, but you want to make more money for your majority white constituency in the counties that you are in charge of, which are not cool. Don't do that. That sucks. Like, you're being a racist. Let this town deal with this stuff in the way that it's dealing with it. Let them get their shit together like they're doing by auditing themselves over and over again. They should be caught up by, I think it said this article, next year they should be caught up. And let them handle it. Let them do their own thing. Let this city grow. Let this majority black city just grow, and let them be able to deal with how they handle their taxes, their tax money that's going to come from this plant. Let them be able to deal with it themselves. And if then it seems like there's still large levels of corruption, or corruption is picking up again because of the large amount of money, then there should be investigations and considerations of, either absorbing this town or just making new, getting new leadership for the town again, which, could happen. Yeah, that's my verdict on this. I think that this shouldn't be happening. I think there is some racial undertones here, because like I said, this person has only been the elected official of majority white counties, as we've looked up. Yeah, like... Right, 94% white in the county of, what is this? This is just Sullivan County, and I think the other county was 95% white. So I mean, yeah, fuck this guy. This guy wants to go ahead and make he probably isn't really even thinking about it, in the sense that, there's black people that live here. Well, they don't deserve to make all that tax revenue money. They're sitting on some nice plot of land. Why don't we just add it to our county and take that tax money and add it to places that are already pretty well funded, because, I tried and actually helped my constituents because they're white. Obviously, that's not what he said. He would never, as a politician, come out and say those things. But it does seem pretty suspicious that because all of a sudden, this small part of this state that hasn't been getting that much attention, that has been overlooked in a lot of different areas, is all of a sudden getting a lot of attention. And now you want to go ahead and say, guys, hand over your charter, or, as the comptroller, we're going to heavily restrict your funds or heavily monitor your funds of anything over $100. Good fucking luck. Like, that's pretty shitty. And even if it wasn't a majority black town, I would still say that's pretty shitty. But the fact that it is a majority black town does make it seem a little bit more racist. And that's the tea. That's just how it is, okay? Yeah, that's how I feel on that situation, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment down below on what you think the issue is. If you've stuck it through to the end, this is going to be like a 30-minute video. I appreciate everyone watching. And if you are live, I'm not ending the stream. I'm just going to go over to a quick be right back screen, and we're just going to end the recording, upload it to YouTube, and that'll be on YouTube if you want to catch the beginning part of this conversation if you're joining late. And if you're on YouTube, always feel free to join me on Twitch, where I stream Monday through Friday, and then Monday through Friday I'm streaming. Monday through Tuesday I stream usually in the afternoon, morning, and then Wednesday through Friday I'm streaming like the afternoon, evenings. So I will talk to you guys on YouTube later. Don't forget to like and subscribe, okay? Bye-bye. And then for people watching live, don't go anywhere. We're just going to switch over to a quick little coming back screen, and then we're going to talk about the second topic, which will also be uploaded to YouTube. Okay. All right, bye.